So guys, you want to buy that BMW 5 Series from 2011 all the way till 2017, and there is a 5 common problem I'm gonna tell you before you're gonna buy that beautiful, amazing car for the good price, because the price for this car right now you can find about the same as the Toyota Corolla. Let's see what we can find. So number one, that's the body condition. What you can do, just go around the body, just go around the panels, make sure they all attached good and the gaps are kind of even. They may be not perfect, but they should be even, like on this 2014 BMW. Look at that. Everywhere they're all even, means the body in a great shape. For sure you can check the paint, you can get the paint meter and see if there is any bondo, but from my experience, when all the panels sitting like that, I don't think this car was in a huge accident. So number two, that's the engine and transmission. For sure you wanna check if check engine light is on or not. Supposed to be not, but again, for BMW sometimes it's kind of normal. You open the hood, first thing you can see if there is any oil leaks or not. If the engine been washed already, it might be oil leaking, but they try to cover it by washing the engine, and you might gonna see the oil leak coming later on. But in general, just go around, you can see the transmission, you can see the engine, valve cover on the other side, you can see all the connectors, if they kind of factory condition or not, and it's gonna give you huge peace of mind. So oil leak, like on this car, I can tell there is a valve cover leaking and it's going right on an exhaust system. That's why it's kind of smelling oil burn. On the top of that, you can see if the cooling system performing good, like the level up on the max. And what you can do also, you can take your phone, it's all simple, just put it here and snap some pictures. Go back to your photo and see if there is a leaks or not. I cannot see any leaks on the bottom of the car, but I can see the leak on the valve cover. So engine, transmission, any kind of BMW, whatever you buy, 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder, there is a lot of things to check on the engine, but you can check it yourself. So make sure it's not knocking, it's not ticking when it's cold or when it's hot. Again, before you're going to check the car, call the owner or whoever selling the car and ask them, do not start the car, do not warm it up, let me come and start it myself when it's cold. You're gonna hear a lot of different noises. So number three on this beautiful BMW, it's gonna be electric problems. What you can find. For example, this car has a problem with headlight and it shows adaptive headlight malfunction. What's happened, the unit controller inside the headlight got water inside. For some reason, somehow, whatever. So now I have to buy the unit, I have to replace it, but not only replace it, I have to do reprogramming. Basically, I have to code that unit to the car, so car can accept it and all the messages gonna be gone. But besides the headlights problem, you might gonna find a problem with your audio stereo system, and sound might not gonna be present. Like on this car right now, there is no sound. So I'm doing the volume all the way up and nothing going on. I hope that's gonna be only the fuse, but most of the time it's a BMW. My amplifier probably went bad. That's something I have to check and face it. So also, besides that, always check whatever options this car has. For example, moonroof and the cover, make sure it's working properly, make sure it's always opening and closing without any noise, because again, sometimes the cover is opening, the sunshade, and it's making kind of chewing noise, so it might be cause a lot of problems and you're gonna pay a lot of money. On the top of that, make sure all your window regulators working, all the windows opening, closing with no problem, they're not getting stuck, because that part is gonna be not cheap to fix. Climate control, power heated seats, it is heated, it is power, and it's all working and making kind of noise. But on the top of that, make sure your climate control and AC is blowing cold. Even if it's cold outside like right now and it's rainy, you still can go all the way on the low, turn your AC on, put it all the way on max, and you're gonna feel that cold. Or you might not. So guys, for example, the headlight unit, how much it's gonna cost to replace it. If I'm gonna buy aftermarket Chinese, it's gonna cost me about $99 for the unit itself and about $150 for the mechanic to do the reprogramming. If my fuse is bad for the sound system, the fuse is gonna cost me probably nothing, maybe $1. I mean, again, for the mechanic I have to pay about $120 so he can pinpoint the problem and fix it. If it's not the fuse, if it's something else, I have to replace amplifier. And amplifier depends what kind of sound system you got. It might be cost you about 100 or up to 500 for this used BMW. It depends. So if your power windows, for example, went bad, you probably looking about 150 for the regulator itself, and I would say about 120 for the labor. It might be not that costly, but again, if you have one or two problems on the top of whatever you're gonna find at the car, it's probably gonna be expensive. So think twice and always try to negotiate the price if you found the problem on something you're trying to buy. So number 4, common problem on the BMW, that's the build quality. And when the car is brand new, there is no problem at all. But right now, BMW, for some reason, they're using that material on the door panels, and it's always sticky, it's always falling apart, and you have to replace maybe the whole door panel. So all those things, they are available kind of aftermarket. So you basically can buy the piece like an inlet from eBay from China. You can just put it in, but it's not a huge problem. But when you have that problem on all 4 door panels, that's kind of annoying, and your fingers always going to be sticky with some kind of gum or whatever they use to build this. Look at this. To build this door panel. On the top of the door panels, buttons. The paint always peeling on those, and you can buy them separate again to replace it, and probably it's not big deal. But again, when you have a lot of those things inside the car, it's just kind of annoying. You have to replace this, you know, you have to buy this part, you have to buy that part, you have to buy these buttons on a sound system or on a climate control, and it's just on and on and on, like everywhere a little bit. But the whole picture of the car looks like it's gonna be cost a lot of money, time, and you need it or not? Probably not. So one of the most important thing to check, make sure the alternator is working good on this car. Number 1, always check if there is a date same as today, the time is right, means the car is not resetting kinda. Because when the alternator on the BMW, which is common problem, going bad, it's overcharging or it's not charging enough, your whole system software is gonna be kinda on a glitch mode. So basically every time you're adjusting the time, you starting the car back, the time is jumping to 0 or to the previous day or 2 days ago. So make sure it's all working, and that kind of problem you might gonna find out when you're using a BD scanner and checking your current charging. So next one, you have to check if all the handles inside the car is working. So basically you can open the doors from the inside and it's not getting stuck. You can open it. All the pockets, the mid compartment, the glove box, all those handles and buttons, they're always going bad. The mechanism inside, it's cracking, you know, those plastic pieces just falling apart, and you might not gonna be able to open it and close it. That's the perfect example. Look at the ashtray. So that's the perfect example. That's the ashtray, right? And looks like they didn't smoke inside, but they've been using a lot. Maybe they've been playing a lot while they were waiting the tow truck. Anyway, so it's broken. Now to replace that, I have to buy the part itself, maybe about $70–80 the part. But on the top of that, mechanic labor is gonna cost me like about $150 maybe. I have to take the panels out and replace. If this button is gonna be broken, on the top of that we have a lock for that. So I have to buy it, I have to take it apart and spend about maybe between $100 and $200 for this small button and that mechanism for your armrest box. That's kind of costly too. Again, when you check in the car, when you're going inside, you see the car is perfect, you know everything is working, drives good, and sometimes you're not paying attention on the things like that. But just make sure you're paying attention and make sure you're opening all the boxes, all the doors. you're trying to check the windows if it's all working. Mirrors, that's one of the common problem on the BMW too. They're not working, they're not folding, and on and on and on. So don't buy broken BMW, buy the good one. So and number 5, the main one, after you check the whole car, you can actually change it. You can go and do it as a number 1. Make sure this car has a clean title, make sure the history of this car is clean. If it's not available, just type the VIN number to the Google and see, maybe this car used to be at the auto auction, Copart or kind of EII insurance auto auction, and it's been totaled, or it's been theft recovery, or something else. So it might be no damages on the car, like nothing being hit, but if the car was stolen, insurance pay for it, and now it's gonna be salvage. Make sure you get in the car with clean title, or if you get in the salvage title, you know it's supposed to be less price than clean title.